Greetings, dear viewer. Testing Flattards 5 is underway, and I've got about 2/3 of the visuals done. For now, let's recap the remarkable failures of Flattards since Testing Flattards began. In over 127,000 comments on the series, not one Flattard has been able to provide A working map of Flattardia, B. Any explanation for how a worldwide transportation network for goods and people has worked for centuries without such a map, C. Any refutation of the basic geometry shown in the series, even though kids can handle it, D. Any reconciliation of the geometric paradoxes that Flattardia presents, E. Any reconciliation of their disk world with the basic naked eye observations shown in the series, F. A description of the image analysis method used by Flattards to test whether any given image of anything is real or not, and what the error margins of that method are. G. A formula to calculate the acceleration of a falling object based on density. H. The locations of the radar stations they claim are used to protect Antarctica. I. The location of the harbours and airfields where the Antarctica Defence Force are based. J. Any explanation of how the South Celestial Pole works in their fantasy world. K. Any useful way of navigating from one point to any other point on Earth. L. Any useful way of calculating the correct distance between one point and any other point on Earth. M. The names of any active commercial or military pilot who is in on the conspiracy. N. The top 5 contributions made to mankind by Flattards that depend on Earth being flat, and for which the rest of humanity owes them any thanks whatsoever. In addition, no sensible answers were received in response to the first set of questions for Flattards, so these irredeemable fuckwits clearly have no way to predict eclipses with anything like the precision available by accepting how reality actually works. Also, recently Wolfie6020 ran another one of his competitions where any entrant could win $1,000. Based on a simplified search and rescue scenario, all Flattards had to do was provide a flight plan for a search and rescue operation off the coast of Australia. Not one of them even submitted an entry. The ongoing failure of Flattards to do anything of use apparently remains total. Some are so batshit insane that they think Australia doesn't exist, and that people from there are, you guessed it, paid actors pretending to be Australians. Others simply claim that Australia isn't where we're told it is, but they remain incapable of saying where it actually is, which presumably means they've also managed to lose the entirety of the Australian continent. This brings us neatly onto round 2 of questions for Flattards. Question 1. This is the Sydney Opera House. Opened in 1973, the site welcomes over 8 million visitors per year. The question for Flattards then is simple. Where exactly is the Sydney Opera House? Consult your best Flattard cartographers and provide distances to the Opera House from 3 locations outside of the Australian continent. Question 2. Where do those 8 million visitors a year actually go, and why do none of them notice that they aren't in Australia? Question 3. This is Uluru. It is a World Heritage Site. It is visited by over 400,000 people every year. Millions of people have seen it since tourism to the site kicked off in the 1950s. Where exactly is it? Consult your best Flattard cartographers and provide distances to this rock formation from 3 locations outside of Australia. Question 4, and this is for the ones who think Australia doesn't exist. This is a kangaroo. Where do they live? Question 5. This is Sydney Harbour Bridge. It was opened on the 19th of March 1932. Given that people have been navigating to the harbours of Port Jackson for more than long enough for Flattards to have figured out how to get there using their own maps, the question for them is simple. Where is it? If you're a Flattard and you're struggling to understand why your kind can't navigate their way out of a paper bag, perhaps you'd like to make the link between having no working map of the world and being unable to answer basic questions about where things are. And if that sounds like it might be a little too intellectually challenging, perhaps you'd like to do your bit to improve humanity by following this simple 3-step guide. Shut up, piss off, and when you get there, piss off again.